All right, we are here at SHOT Show 2026 at the FN booth, and this should come as no surprise to anybody. I'm going to come here and look at this new SCAR.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, so I need you in 30 seconds to tell me everything that's different on this SCAR. 30 seconds, go.
Everything customers wanted to suggested as an improvement, we've improved and then some.
All right, now let's do the long version.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so Colion, this is the next generation of SCAR.
Okay.
So last fall, the announcement that legacy SCAR is going away, not untrue. The legacy SCAR is discontinued. It's been replaced by the evolved, improved, enhanced next generation of SCAR.
Okay.
It maintains all those iconic, or the things that made the SCAR the icon that it is to begin with. Legendary reliability, legendary durability, proven through countless amount of testing. We improved the adaptability of the gun to the shooter and dramatically improved the shooter experience with the next generation SCAR.
Gotcha. All right.
Every aspect of the SCAR rifle was looked at for an opportunity to improve it in a meaningful way for our customers. Okay. We didn't change everything. If we saw no reason to change it, we didn't, because we didn't want to deviate too far from the legacy SCAR.
Gotcha.
So we didn't change everything. We changed those things that we thought would be meaningful to our customers. And I'll start with, there are more than 25 user-facing improvements to the rifle.
Okay.
But we're going to only have time to go over maybe the top 4 or 5, maybe 6 if we have time. I'll tell you where I want to start.
Okay, so let's start with the, okay.
Let's start on the suppressor.
Right, fair enough, let's do that.
That is the number one question.
I was going to actually tell me the biggest difference, and then we'll work big to small, but since you want to do suppressor, I'll let you
I want to talk about suppressors on SCARs. Yes, you can suppress next generation SCARs, so long as it is a forward venting low back pressure suppressor.
Okay.
We're not going to put out a list of brands. Get a forward venting suppressor. If you want the best forward venting suppressor for a SCAR, FN now has the QD762 and QD556 suppressors, which are optimized for not only next generation SCAR, but also legacy SCAR as well.
Ah, so I can take this, run it on my legacy SCAR.
Absolutely, absolutely. Since we design and build the rifle, we design the suppressors, we are a systems integrator to make sure that those two things operate in an optimal fashion.
Gotcha. So the one thing I'm getting at, notwithstanding the optic, this is basically its own contained platform all through and through. Like pretty much everything on this thing is FN.
Yes, except for the flashlight
and the optic.
And the optic, yes.
Okay. All right. So now we've done the suppressor aspect of guns.
So coming back on the rifle, our next big upgrade on the rifle is the carbines. The receiver is now at about 3 inches longer. That covers the gas block and also covers some onto the barrel for shooters who like to grasp the rifle further forward, exactly where the gas block is at. So we've covered the gas block. The gas block is fully enveloped by the receiver and the IRS, or integrated rail system, that sits below it. On it is M-LOK capability. It's a longer, more slender, more comfortable grip than the pick rail it replaced.
I kind of like the pick rail.
You can put pick rail back on your
M-LOK. I'm not going to put the pick rail on this. Nope. I like it.
So it still has a 2-position gas regulator, but again, it's fully enclosed, or the gas regulator is now accessible through 2 ports in the receiver. There's one here on the right.
I'm assuming just bullet tip?
Yep.
Okay.
And there's one on the left, which is right now covered by a heat shield. And the heat shield can go on the right side as well. They ship with a heat shield.
Gotcha.
It's a high-temp polymer that you just pop in and out to access it. To access the piston and remove the gas regulator, you use that port. It ships with a piston removal tool to help remove the piston without having to move the barrel out of the receiver.
Gotcha. Okay.
Coming back on the rifle, you can see it here. Sling mount is now QD cups. There's a movable QD cup that you can put anywhere on the IRS. Come back on the receiver rear plate. We now got 2 QD cups on the receiver rear plate. Go further back on the carbine rear stock. There's now QD cups in the rear stock as well.
Oh, there's QDs everywhere.
QD cups everywhere.
It's like a QD party. All right.
So that's the adaptability improvement. It's more adaptable for sling mounting spaces, and the method for sling mounting is the more modern preferred QD cups. You're operating the controls. Every control on the next generation rifle has been enhanced or improved.
Yeah, I've noticed it's longer.
It carries forward from legacy the non-recip capability. The sled did not change. Charging handles, we changed the contour of the charging handles to now match. On the legacy, they were slightly different.
Yeah.
The magazine release buttons are now lengthened and elongated and brought back closer to the shooter's hand so they're more easily accessed. The guarding around the controls are more improved. The selector lever. There are now new selector levers. There's a long offset, which is you have on your right side, on the left side there. There's a short offset mounted on the opposite side when the gun ships. Those can be flipped over to be offset up or offset down.
Gotcha.
It shifts with a third selector lever, which is offset neutral and a little bit taller.
Okay.
So with those 3 selector levers delivered with the rifle, you have 16 possible selector lever configurations in the box. We're going to sell an accessory set of selector levers that if you have a second set, you can put 2 long or 2 short on it. Now your possible combination goes to 24. And the selector levers are backward compatible.
That's crazy.
Let's talk about the triggers. The carbine trigger, kind of a sticking point for some of our customers.
Yeah.
We put a lot of effort into the carbine single stage trigger. So while still a combat trigger on the 16s and 17s, it is a much lighter trigger, a much crisper break.
Gotcha.
On the 20S, they still have a 2-stage trigger, but it's the FN designed 2-stage trigger.
Gotcha.
At 3.5 to 4.5 pounds. The best improvement on our controls, I think, is going to be the most notable, the one I'm most excited about, and that's ambidextrous bolt catch and release. So there's a bolt catch release located on the right side of the rifle. Is going to be operated by a right-handed shooter's firing finger. So now a right-handed shooter can operate all controls with their trigger finger, even including locking the bolt to the rear and releasing the bolt.
I like it.
Retained is the paddle on the left side. And of course, if you want to charge using the charging handle, the slingshot option's always there.
Gotcha.
One of the biggest upgrades. And all those features we just talked about were based on customer feedback over the last 17 years. Absolutely. We want to make our customers happy. We want to improve their shooting experience. One way we did that, in a way that they did not ask for, was we put a hydraulic buffer in the bolt carrier. So a hydraulic buffer now in the bolt carrier is going to soften the recoil dramatically by, as the bolt carrier comes to the rear, it comes to a cushion stop because of the shock absorber that is the hydraulic buffer.
Gotcha.
Then on the forward stroke is also softened because the buffer, the weight of the buffer then collapses in as the bolt closes over time. So it softens the forward stroke, softens the rearward stroke. The effect to the shooter is a much more pleasant experience with recoil, because those impact velocities are spread out over time, both on the rearward stroke and the forward stroke. The entire shooting is much smoother, making anything attached to the rifle along for a much smoother ride.
Gotcha.
The bolt carrier is also 2-piece. Being on top of buffered, it's also now a 2-piece bolt carrier. If you're familiar with the traditional SCAR bolt, is a single piece with a long rail that sticks out from where the bolt's mounted.
Yeah.
That rail is now separate. It's a T-slot to the bolt carrier body where the hydraulic buffer is at. This T-slot goes out, it interacts with the piston, goes through the charging sled to give you that non-recip capability. You can now convert back to recip by just replacing the bolt carrier rail, removing the charging sled, and reusing the same non-recip charging handles in the reciprocating charging handle rail, and you can go back to reciprocating if you want it.
Oh, so you can.
So it's a modular, 2-piece, hydraulically buffered bolt carrier.
It's fancy. It's really fancy.
It is. It's innovative. It's advancing the icon.
I used to really like the drama of the reciprocating, personally. But then when I converted over to the non-reciprocating, I enjoyed that too. So I'm in this weird dilemma where I don't know which one I prefer. But either way, I mean, now I have the option to do both. Where did that come from?
Oh, it was hanging on one of them.
Okay, gotcha.
Right there.
All right, so there you have it. So that, I gotta say, like I was telling you off camera, I really love the grips on this.
Oh, while you got the grip,
yeah.
Is true AR-15 grip compatible underneath that.
Gotcha. I don't think I'd actually change this. I like it.
I'm flattered by that.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I actually really like it. And it's the smaller details I'm noticing. Like even with the hand stop here, it's beveled into it where it's flowing.
And the carbines do ship with
the
they do? Grip. Yes, the 20S does not.
Okay. But
the carbines do. The 16 and 17S do. Nice. They also ship with, like I said, those 3 selector levers, the piston removal tool, the heat shield Also comes in now a rifle-sized soft case. That's our SCAR owners are going to be familiar with it from the 15P.
Okay.
Now every next-gen SCAR ships in a rifle-sized, color-matched case that's adaptable. The insides are adaptable, so if you put on suppressors, accessories, or lights or optics, you can move the rifle around inside the case. That is all included with every next-generation rifle.
That's awesome. Oh.
Best news, I think, well, second best news is a lot of these upgrades are backward compatible to the Legacy, such as the buffer bolt carrier, backward compatible. The trigger module frame itself, backward compatible. The magazine buttons are not by themselves. The bolt catch release is not by itself because they have to fit in a specific trigger module frame, but the entire trigger module frame is backward compatible. The new rear plate, backward compatible.
Oh, so I can run whatever stock I want to run now on this.
Yes. And that's another feature of the new back plate is we removed that sling loop that got in the way of the SC stock. Now the SC stock
can run on.
Go right on to a next gen without having to replace it. While we're talking about stock options, shortly, in just a few months, we're going to release an AR-15 buffer tube adapter that you can mount any AR-15 rear stock to the SCAR just while replacing the carbine rear stock.
So for all those people that cry about the UGG boot.
So we are adding a lot of modularity to the SCAR system.
Okay. I love that. I like the UGG boot personally, but
as a product manager, it is part of the iconic silhouette of SCAR. I could not abandon it, but we saw an opportunity to improve it with that and some guarding around that for left-handed shooters.
I think it gets the shit that people do give it. I don't think it's warranted. I think from a cheek weld standpoint, it's perfect. I could raise and lower it if I needed to. I think it's just even mounting it to my shoulder, the concavity of the stock fits perfect. I mean, I personally love this. I love the boot stock. But for those that don't, now you can
adaptability.
Gotcha. Love it. I love it. Well, I'm like I told you before off camera when you told me y'all were discontinuing the Legacy. I cried, and then when y'all told me y'all were coming out with a new iteration of it, I cried again. But those were tears of joy.
Well, at FN, we really hope that this next generation rifle is going to be well received. Meaningful improvements to the rifle while not deviating from that core SCAR DNA. What makes a SCAR, what made it the icon it is. So it's the icon evolved. I would like to add one more thing. All these upgrades, let's say 25 to 30% feature upgrades on an already great rifle. When this rifle comes to market, it will be price neutral to the Legacy rifle a year ago. So retail price or street price for a SCAR 16S is $36.99.
Yeah.
That's $150 less than a Legacy a year ago today. The 16S, $33.99, which is the same price as a Legacy a year ago. The SCAR 20S, street price of $39.99 is $500 less than a Legacy SCAR a year ago.
Damn. I'll take it. I love this. I think it's definitely stayed true to what the SCAR is in it on itself. You don't see this and you think, oh, they just created a whole new gun, but then it also has there's a freshness to it, right? Like you immediately pick it up and you automatically tell. And of course, it's the things I'm engaging with, like
correct.
This hand stop here, the grip here,
the ergonomics, the location of things. Yes, absolutely.
But then also because of the rail, it's a lot slimmer, right? You know, not dealing with a beefier grip here, and so all of that translates in just the overall just feeling of the rifle in itself, feeling different enough.
Yep.
Right, but then still feeling very familiar and the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is great. Well, I think you guys killed it.
I appreciate that.
I haven't shot it yet, but as far as everything else I've seen thus far here, I think you guys have killed it.
When you experience that hydraulic buffer, you will absolutely understand what it delivers to the shooter as far as shootability.
Gotcha. And I was already a fan of the recoil impulse of the Legacy model, so that's saying a lot.